Salvete! Rursus advenimus ad conspectum grammaticum capituli 26. Pergamus. Hac in pellicula adjectiva declinationis tertiae nova discimus. Discimus genera tria adjectivorum declinationis tertiae esse. Noscimus iam genus adjectivorum declinationis tertiae, quod terminationes duas habet. Exempla generis huius sunt tristis triste et gravis grave. Genera nova sunt genera quae terminationem unum et terminationes tres habent. Exempla generum horum sunt ferox et celer celeris celere. Adjectiva declinationis tertiae multa iam novimus. Haec sunt aliquot: tristis triste, gravis grave, mirabilis mirabile, humilis humile, ferox et turpis turpe. Quid adjectivorum superium ab aliis adjectivis differt? Cogita, tum responde. Optime. Ferox non est adjectivum quod terminationes is e habet. Ferox non terminationes duas, sed terminationem unam habet. Id est, ferox casu in nominativo potest masculinum, aut femininum, aut neutrum esse. Forma una ferox, unum generum trium esse potest. Tristis tandem duo generum trium in nominativo esse potest, masculinum aut femininum. Triste est forma nominativa generis neutrius. Exempla: vir est tristis, femina est tristis, sed concilium est triste. Vir tandem est ferox, femina est ferox, et concilium est quoque ferox. Genera adjectivorum declinationis tertia tria sunt. Primum genus est id quod terminationem unam casu in nominativo habet. Exempla sunt ferox, dives, audax, et ingens. Audax et ingens sunt adjectiva nova hoc in capitulo. Genus alterum est id quod terminationes duas casu in nominativo habet. Exempla sunt tristis triste, levis leve, turpis turpe, tenuis tenue. Genus tandem tertium est id quod terminationes tres casu in nominativo habet. Exemplum unum est celer celeris celere. Okay, I want to be clear about this, so I'm going to do a little talking in English. Are two new types of third declension adjective, examples of which include ferox, the first type which has only one termination, and celer, celeris, celere, the third type which has three terminations, are not much different than the type that we know, an example of which is tristis triste. All three types of third declension adjective follow similar basic rules. All types of third declension adjective that are neuter in gender must follow the two neuter rules. So, neuter adjectives continue to follow these rules. All third declension adjectives are strong I stems. This is not different. This means that they're all going to have ablative singulars ending in I or E, if we're pronouncing it in Latin, and they're all going to have genitive plurals ending in eum. Similarly, the neuter nominative and accusative plurals of all types are going to end ia. Now, there'll be slides showing these in just a few minutes, so if you didn't catch all that, don't worry too much just yet. Finally, one termination, two termination, and three termination adjectives are all different from each other only in the nominative singular. That is, the main difference between these three types of adjectives is confined entirely to the nominative singular. Bene, pergamus. Hic vides formas adjectivi ferox in casibus quinque, et in numeris singulari et plurali. Quomodo differt declinatio adjectivi ferox ab declinationibus adjectivorum tristis triste et gravis grave. Cogita tum responde. Okay, so here we have our answer slide. The only way that this adjective differs from tristis triste is in the nominativus. With tristis triste, we would expect the nominative singular of the masculine feminine form to be different from the nominative singular of the neuter form. But with ferox, we don't get that. Instead, the masculine and feminine and neuter forms are all the same. Ferox, ferox, ferox. Otherwise, we can observe that ferox is an adjective that declines just like tristis triste. The accusative singular is ferocem, just as it would be tristem for the masculine and feminine. However, the neuter form of the adjective must follow the two neuter rules, and so the nominative and accusative singular are the same. Similarly, the nominative and accusative plural of the neuter adjective forms are ferocia. They have to end in a, that's one of the neuter rules. They have to be the same, and we remember all third declension adjectives are strong I stems, and so they end with the ia, not just a. We can observe this strong I stem rule showing up in the ablative singular with feroci and in the genitive plural ferocium. We note that all the forms below the red line are the same, regardless of gender. So ferocis is the genitive singular form of the masculine, feminine, and neuter adjective. All right, so the only way that these really differ from an adjective you already know well, like tristis triste, is in the nominative singular. Now let's consider celer, celeris, celere. Advenimus ad adjectivum celer, celeris, celere. Hae sunt formae eius. Rursus te interrogo. Quomodo differt declinatio adjectivi celer, celeris, celere, a declinationibus adjectivorum tristis triste, et gravis grave. Cogita tum responde. Okay, so here we have our answer slide. Once again, we can see that the main difference between celer, celeris, and celere and tristis triste shows up entirely in the nominative singular. Here we have three different forms for the three different genders, whereas in tristis triste we would have two for the three genders. Outside of the nominative singular, however, celer, celeris, celere declines just like tristis triste. There's no difference. And so we see once again that the main difference between our three types of third declension adjectives is confined entirely to the nominative singular. Otherwise, it's no big deal. Okay, so while we're here, let's observe just a few quick things that we can recognize from the pattern of tristis triste. Calerem, calerem, the masculine and feminine accusative singular, are the same, but they differ from the neuter accusative singular, calere. Why? Of course, the two neuter rules. Everything below the red line, caleris, 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 caleri, 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 and so forth, is all the same regardless of whatever gender noun it modifies. So the genitive singular form is the same, caleris, for the masculine, feminine, and neuter forms of the adjective. Over in the plural, we see that the neuter plural forms agree in the nominative and singular, that is, they're the same, and they both end in a as the neuter rule dictates. Because they're I stems, they end in ia, caleria, and so we have a recognizable pattern that we're already familiar with. The I stem follows to the genitive plural, where we have calerium instead of calerum, and again, this is something we recognize from tristis triste. So, we see again there's no difference outside the nominative singular. If you weren't so familiar with the forms of tristis triste, this is a good opportunity to review. So if you're finding much of this information new and surprising, that's okay. But we're going to learn and reinforce what we hopefully have already learned or what we've learned in previous chapters, now here in Cap 26. Probatio ad est. Potesne responsa recta scribere? Hic sunt sententiae sex. Prome eandem formam necessariam. Take a minute or two and see if you can fill in the blanks. Then write in your answers. Here we have our answer slide. Take a minute and look over the answers. Do they match what you got? You can notice that the left-hand column consists of sentences that all call for nominative adjectives. Vir is nominative, femina is nominative, concilium is also nominative. And so these all call for adjectives in the nominative case. They each have three different genders, and so each calls for a different ending because celer, celeris, celere is an adjective with three terminations in the nominative. Now, if we look on the right-hand column, we can see that each of these sentences calls for an accusative adjective. Virum and feminam are both accusative, and one is masculine and the other is feminine. And so here they each have the same form of celer, celeris, celere, modifying them. That is, calerem. Why? Because in the accusative we no longer have three terminations. Just like with gravis, grave, we have only one. The masculine feminine form is the same. But the neuter form of the accusative adjective, which modifies concilium, is calere. This is the same, of course, as the nominative form of the adjective in the neuter, calere, which we can see in the left-hand column in the sentence, hoc est concilium calere. Cur, because of our two neuter rules, of course, the first of which states that neuter, nominative, and accusatives must always be the same. Okay, so we're now at the end of our video about new third declension adjectives. I hope that you found it informative, useful, and clear. If you're watching this during class, your teacher is available on Zoom to answer your questions. When you're ready, move on to the next video about videre in the passive voice. Valete omnes!